Hey, how's it going? And today we're going to be taking a look at extension methods, what they are, and how they might be of some help for you. So right now I'm just in an island template and I've already written the code. So let's just take a look at it and see what's going on. I have two examples in here for you, and I just wanted to go over some notes that I've written first. When I say methods, and I know this is really confusing because I hear some people say methods and functions, and it's confusing, especially when you're starting out. But methods are functions within classes or composite types such as interfaces. So get Fort character is an example of a method, but it's not in a class, it's in what they call an interface. So if you click here, if you hold control and click, it'll take you to the get Fort character method, and you'll see that it's within this Fort character. This is a type, a composite type. It's not a class, and it's a composite type called an interface. So you can't make a copy of this, but other classes can inherit this functionality. So in here you'll see the get Fort character. Interesting, it expects to be called with an agent, right? Now square root and get view location are methods within existing classes or interfaces. So up here, and if you want to know if something is a live method, you can click on it and it has a hyperlink to it. So this is a built-in one, and these are all built in. Get Fort characters built in, get view locations built in. But look, this one, I wrote this one myself. These are built in and custom made ones. So square root and get view location are methods within existing classes. Extension methods let us write our own methods that tap into existing methods. My square root and find location are extension methods that I wrote myself. And in the case of find location, I'm able to use a player reference to access a method that typically requires an agent. So let's take a closer look at this. So here's square root. It's just going to make a call and it's going to return a value of 10. Now this line of code isn't going to do anything because it's going to return a value of 10, but it's not putting it anywhere and it's not printing it out. So here we're going to get that value and put it into a variable called return value. And then we have this custom print string down here. Now I've written my own custom extension method here. I'm writing it as if I would write a function that is calling this method as I normally would call it, right? Except the input parameter for the extension method is up front. So I put the input parameter up here, the name of the parameter, and then the type that it is, and then the dot, and then whatever I want the name of my method to be. So then when I call it, I have to call it with whatever the input parameter is. So expecting a float value, so I've got to call it with my number as a float. To actually call it, I'll call my number dot my square root parentheses, just the same as I would any other method within a class. So it comes down to this part right here. Extension methods let us write our own methods that tap into existing methods. So that's what's happening here. I'm writing my own method and I'm tapping into an existing method. Normally I'd have to call it this way, but now since I've customized it, I can call it this way. So it's pretty cool. And I have another example. So this is going to be, we're going to call it here with this variable instantiated, and then it's going to call down here, and then it's going to print out, it should print out the number 2. And then the last one I have is, I have this, I'm using the play space module up here, and it goes and gets all the players in the scene, which I assume are Fort characters, not AI. And because it can fail, we have to call it within an if statement. It may come back empty-handed and that would fail, so it has to be called within an if statement. So we call it within an if statement. These are all methods here: get play space, get players, and then I'm telling it return. It comes back as an array, and I'm telling it give me the player in the first position, which would be me. Once I have this variable established, I wrote this custom method down here. I called it find location. I write it as a normal function, but then I'm tapping into existing methods while I'm doing it. Then what I do is I put the input parameters up here in front with that dot. And then I can call it as an extension method that I've created. So now I can call it with player variable that I got up here. Find location now is my own extension method, but it's tapping into these two existing methods within an interface or another class. So basically allows me to customize things and in some cases tweak, because normally this requires an agent and I'm able to call it now with just a player reference, not an agent reference. So it's going to come in and it's going to return to me the location of where my player is looking or viewing in 3D space. So let's go and see if we see all these things. So this should return a value of 10. This should return a value of 2. This should say getting view location, and then it should give me the 3 coordinates. So let's see if that's what we see. Yep, so return value is 10, the square is 2, getting view location, and the coordinates are x, 459, 126, and 173. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.